Tired, nervous, and broke. A vicious cycle that feeds into itself. Imagine, if you will, only being able to spend $5 at the gas pump or going into the grocery store with a budget of $20. You're tired of constantly having to worry about not spending more than that type of money. You're nervous about things remaining the same for the foreseeable future, but you're broke. So you have no option but to stick to a budget. Being tired, nervous, and broke is for me a very specific experience that I have lived through multiple times throughout my life. And man, is it tough. Not because I'm in dire financial circumstances and have no way out, but because being so tired, nervous, and broke prevents me from properly enjoying the media I love most. I love shonen manga, but I just can't believe in the power of friendship when I have to save up for a month before I can go out with my friends. I love romance manga, but it's hard to get in the mood when I don't got enough money or emotional stability to go on a date with someone. I love food manga, but I know I'm too tired to ever try making any of that delicious food, let alone spend money at a restaurant. I love slice of life manga, but the girls in Aria have a job, the girls in Hidamari Sketch are in school following their passions, the economy barely exists in Yokohama Shopping Log, and the girls in Yurukam spend money out the ass for camping equipment and delicious food. I cannot relate. All petty complaints, and I'm definitely the problem. Don't worry, I do love these series on a regular basis. This is not my constant state of being. It only happens sometimes. Either way, the truth is that this is what happens when I'm tired, nervous, and broke. But even I deserve to stop thinking about my circumstances. No, to forget about my bank balance, my failed aspirations, and my social ineptitude. In all seriousness, I do feel like we all have these moments. Moments when every little thing seems unlikely or annoying or cheesy. We just can't believe in shonen passion or magical anime romance or good food soothing our souls. Sometimes we cannot lift ourselves up even if we try because of our circumstances. You would fix your circumstances if you could, so then helplessness kicks in and you are in a constant state of anxiety and self-deprecation. No amount of heartfelt slice of life will get through to you. So over the years, I slowly came up with a list of manga that managed to keep my mind off an extremely stressful financial situation, while also keeping any one random aspect of said manga from annoying me due to deeply repressed emotional personal reasons. So, let's get on with the list. It being October, let's start with a horror manga. Shibito no Koe is about a dude that sees the ghost of a dead girl he used to know. You'd think the main plot would be fairly generic based off of that, but there is no main plot. The whole thing is a homage to all kinds of horror. There are zombies, ghosts, serial killers, yanderes, haunted houses, Lovecraftian creatures, government facilities, aliens, possessions, exorcisms. Anything in the realm of a horror B-movie premise is in this manga. The author just relishes in the violence and also has pretty good sense of humor. So at the risk of sounding psychotic, I'm gonna say the main reason I love reading this manga when I'm tired, nervous, and broke is that watching people die over the top horrific deaths is oddly cathartic. Not to mention the main character is always at the center of these horrific situations. He has such shit luck, it makes him kind of pathetic in an endearing way. Honestly reminded me of something like Courage the Cowardly Dog, just R-rated, right? Just this one dude that is constantly running into the worst scenarios possible. It makes me forget about my situation because damn, does he have it worse. So, you take every conceivable horror B-movie plot, you could take an extremely unfortunate main character, you take a great sense of dark humor and gore, you mix them up, and you get a horror manga that will keep your mind off the horrors of your bank account statement. Call of the Night, a recent pick, and this one is straightforward as can be. This kid drops out of school, meets a hot vampire, and proceeds to do nothing but stay up all night and go on adventures for multiple volumes. So jealous. In all seriousness, I have already talked about this manga, but the gist of it is that Ko, being a middle school student that decides to drop out and go chill with his vampire girlfriend, is more liberating than you might think. Systematic society, set paths, no passion. Dude stays up late once and he suddenly has a bunch of vampire friends. Obviously, it's not realistic at all, but it is a good analogy for people that choose to go all in on certain lifestyles. It's empowering. This dude has no qualms about turning into a vampire just cause he thinks it's cool. No deep reason behind it. He just wants to, so he'll do it. Being tired, nervous, and broke, you often feel caged in. You feel like you can't do much at the risk of making your situation worse. But he proves you can do a lot by doing very little. Literally just change his sleep cycle and get a vampire girlfriend in return. That probably won't happen to you, but there definitely are things you can try and do different and see what the result is. No, even if you get nothing for it, it would have at least been amusing to switch up your routine every now and then. Dorohedoro. I feel like people get the wrong first impression of Dorohedoro. Yes, it is extremely violent, and yes, that does make it great. But what I really love about this manga is how sporadic it can be. There are narratives we follow, sure, violent fight scenes, crazy transformations, but also cockroach baseball. Look at this dude. Radioactive cockroach playing baseball. Isn't that great? He's wearing sneakers. You're welcome. What about the haunted house chapter? The Gyoza Fairy? Yeah, dorohedoro I enjoy because it has so many chapters that are literally just slice of life with a sprinkle of gore and grime. It just balances one of the grimiest, most metal art styles out there with some of the wackiest world building. I don't feel bad when the characters are having a good time because they live in a ridiculous universe. I can completely disconnect and just watch Kaiman rip off faces like it's nobody's business. And yeah, there it is again. Violence, cathartic, relaxing gore. Yeah, maybe I should go see a therapist. Alright, let's switch up the goth aesthetic with something real sweet. Sweetness and Lightning is a manga about a widower that has to learn about the magic of cooking in order to have lots of heartfelt moments with his daughter. I mentioned earlier that when I'm tired, nervous, and broke, food manga can annoy me. You got characters doing these fancy dishes with lots of ingredients, characters traveling to specialty restaurants, characters having the motivation to cook. To cook? I can't cook. Ingredients cost money. No, but it is clear a lot of these writers go off the rails with dishes the characters try because, I don't know, they want to write it off as food expenses under taxes or something, yeah? Sweetness and Lightning is different in that this dude is cooking for his daughter, so everything is really basic. The meals always seem delicious but simple, aside from a couple of traditional dishes here and there. The dishes are usually stuff I've tried before, which means I don't get as jealous. For example, in one chapter they just make donuts. Most of us have had donuts, so watching them eat donuts doesn't make me mad, it just makes me nostalgic for when I ate donuts. It's also not all food porn like a lot of manga tend to be. There's some dramatic plot beats here and there. You know, single dad having to raise a daughter. The food is interwoven with those themes, and so it's not just food porn. There's actual emotional resonance when you watch them eat some good food. For them, they're memories from days gone by that are engraved in their hearts through the food. We all remember at least one good meal, so it telegraphs well with the reader. Machida-kun no sekai. Arguably sweeter than Sweetness and Lightning. I mentioned earlier I don't like dramas or romances when I'm tired, nervous, and broke because I don't like seeing people happy in the end. This is the exception. Machida is just such a good boy. A great boy. That is the premise of the manga. This high school student with the kindness, naivety, gentleness, and empathy that is hard to keep as you grow older goes around encountering different types of people. It's just a case of a character being the kind of person you wish you were, but not in an upsetting way. It's nostalgic. He has so many good qualities you probably remember having at some point in your life before it all went wrong. You want him to succeed, to remain pure, because you know how hard that can be. I know how hard that can be because I tried and failed spectacularly. So the whole time I'm cheering Machida on, hoping he makes someone's day better. Also, this one is short and sweet. You can sit down and read it in a single evening, get a little shot of dopamine before the numbness kicks in the next day, you know? Hatarakanai futari, about two siblings who are unemployed. That's it. Every chapter is 1 to 5 pages long, and it's all basically just them chilling at their house. As the chapters go on, we get introduced to other people that chill along with them every now and then. I just love this one. I love it. It's just actually a positive outlook on being a NEET. The constant push to do something, anything, definitely gets to me sometimes, so I appreciate a manga that says, hey, if you're not ready, you don't have to push yourself to go do stuff you don't want to. You can just kick back and chill. Yeah, nothing bad's gonna happen if you do that for a bit. It's also really endearing that they do start going outside more and more over the course of like 16 volumes. It's a slow but comfortable progression. Just real endearing for a story to be about NEETs having fun instead of them being suicidal and excluded from society or something. It helps me slow down. That push to go and be a big earner, to go have a house and a family by 30. It gets washed away when I watch these two play video games all night and feel absolutely no guilt at all. March comes in like a lion. I am a huge baby, a giant baby. I sob every time I read this. I cry every time. I am a dry husk of a human, and this series is all about empathy. It all comes down to empathy. So when I read it, I feel like I'm finally able to feel things again. It says more about my issues than the series, I know, but still, let me put it to you this way. Every character has their own heartfelt story. It can be one chapter, it can be multiple. You best believe you'll feel something towards every single character eventually. Just like we as humans feel like our own personal stories are valuable. The world is cruel. It can be uncaring, but we all feel empathy. And no matter how utterly broken we might be, that empathy is a gateway towards strong emotional bonds with others. Even if we have no real family left, as long as we are able to feel that empathy, we will always be able to form valuable relationships with other people. The world is give and take, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing if the things you're giving and receiving are love and support. I should find that message cheesy, right? But I think the fact I take it so seriously speaks to the incredible writing of the series. And finally, we arrive at the ultimate tired, nervous, and broke recommendation. Yotsubato. Yeah, yeah, predictable. The manga at the top of all slice of life lists makes its appearance. But look, Yotsuba is just so perfectly engineered to make you hopeful, yeah? We start with Yotsuba. She's a kid going through life, discovering things, always having fun, enjoying everything. Everything she does is grounded in things kids do. Going to a farm, going to the big city, going to a hot air balloon festival, going camping, discovering pizza for the first time. All things you have or could do rather easily. Most of them not really dependent on location at all. The adults in this series are oddly inspiring too. Yotsuba's dad is a freelancer that works from home, Jumbo is a florist, and Yasuda is an office worker, yet they all just hang out. Their jobs never obstruct their ability to play with Yotsuba or to go on trips. Then you got the girls, all in different grades. You got their parents, and you got workers around the neighborhood. It's this little neighborhood that is built through the eyes of Yotsuba as the chapters go on. Everyone kind of represents different stages in life. The elementary school kids, the high school kids, the uni students, the workers with different skill sets, the parents, all reflections of who you were or could be, and all positive portrayals of those reflections. Yotsuba is fun because you get to dive into that kind of world. It's not perfect, it's normal, but that's what makes it great. The possibility that if the cards align, this is not impossible to achieve. Every time I feel cornered at the end of my rope, I binge this series and I'm immediately barraged with the feeling that nothing is stopping me from just trying to fix things. Ironically, Yotsuba being perfectly normal is what makes it so motivational. It's all there. These characters enjoy themselves doing normal stuff. In a world where everything seems so chaotic, it's nice to have a manga that proves joy is not completely out of our reach. I didn't write an outro for this. That's pretty much it. This is an incredibly specific list that maybe only applies to me, but I wanted to put it out there, right? I do have a couple more manga that fit this criteria, but I don't know. Maybe I'll make a different list a year or 6 months from now or something. But that's it. Thank you guys a lot, and I hope you have a good one. Later.